But I'll tell you what, Ryan, the latest Republican, the latest conservative to say, we've got to let this go through. We have a bird in the hand. Let's roll. A lot of debate. And down the line, we will have continued debate among Republicans about the direction of the party, directions of conservatism, and one of those who we'll be hopefully relying on, because I'm a big fan of hers. Her name is Ann Wagner, AnnWagner.com. And as you know, Ann has been around Missouri politics and national politics for a long, long time, and she was confirmed as U.S. Ambassador to Luxembourg during the George W. Bush administration, and she served there 4 years. And, of course, she was also part of the Roy Blunt's successful U.S. Senate campaign. Ann Wagner, it's a pleasure to have you on the air.
Hey, thanks, Jamie. I appreciate your flexibility this morning. I'm standing at a Delta gate at the moment.
I know you are rolling, and we were going to have you on earlier, but I appreciate your flexibility. I know it's tough to travel as well as be on radio shows at the same time. And first of all, congratulations on your past successes. I appreciate what you've done for conservatism across the country and indeed in Missouri. And now it might be on to bigger things as chairman of the Republican National Committee, chairwoman, I should say. And Michael Steele recently saying, hey, I'm digging in. I'm running. This looks like it's going to be a battle.
It is, and one that I'm up to, because you know what? The most important thing that we can do is take these wins that we've had in 2010 and extend them into 2012. The big prize is the presidential race in 2012, and that's what I'm all about. And I'm doing this because the Republican National Committee has got to be fully funded and fully functional. And at the moment, Jamie, it is not.
Well, and when you say fully funded, what you're talking about is the fact that there are many people who are not donating to the RNC, either because Michael Steele is there or because he simply there just doesn't seem to be a direction for the RNC. Is that correct?
That's correct. You know, it's a combination of multiple things. Either the ask hasn't been made to our major donor community out there, or they feel that their investment wouldn't be spent wisely. When people give up their treasure, they want to make sure that that it's managed properly. And Michael Steele has not managed the RNC to the level and the extent that he needs to, and thus we have suffered. And you can have all the greatest get-out-the-vote programs and grassroots programs in the world, Jamie, but if you don't have the money to fund them, you can't get the job done. And 2012 is just too important.
And I guess with Michael Steele there, do you believe that you do believe the White House then is compromised with Michael Steele as RNC chair?
Well, I think that our chances of winning are diminished. You know, whether it's fair or not, perception has become a reality. And the fact of the matter is, we've got to have an RNC chairman who can raise the millions, the hundreds of millions of dollars and get the RNC out of debt, who can manage things with ethics and integrity, putting in the kinds of transparency and accountability that's absolutely necessary in a vast organization like that. You have to have someone with political savvy. And you mentioned it up front, Jamie. I've been doing Republican politics and public policy and promoting conservative causes for over 2 decades. I chaired the Missouri Republican Party for 7 years, only woman, in fact, to do so, and with great success, taking the Missouri legislature, winning a governor's race, winning a U.S. Senate race, delivering twice for the president. Those kinds of political savvy skills are important, too. Along with communication, you've got to be able to put a face to public and to press in a way that's not gaffe-prone, in a way that that makes your party and the public and your donor group proud.
And it is interesting. The writing certainly is on the wall regarding the direction of the Republican Party, and somebody with some really solid conservative credentials, which obviously you do have, even when it wasn't so popular in the day. You never fell into the rhino category. You never fell into the wishy-washy category and always stood firm. And that's something I'm not quite sure Michael Steele can say at this point.
You know, I have been a conservative my entire life, and I believe strongly in what I would call the 3 main pillars of conservatism, and whether it's the economic, limited government, free enterprise conservative, whether it's the national defense and safety and security conservative, or whether it's the traditional values conservative. I have been both a social and fiscal conservative my entire life. I believe now is our time, and I am reaching out everywhere to our Tea Party groups, our Patriot groups, all the grassroots organizations across this nation. I want them to have a seat at the table. I want to listen and dialogue with, Well, people have to understand the true grassroots authenticity and independent nature of this conservative movement that's taken storm over the last 2 years. I find it exciting, encouraging, and I welcome it.
Where do you stand on the tax cut extension proposal?
Well, you know, there's good and bad in everything, but we've got to extend the Bush tax cuts. The jobs and economy are suffering, and with now unemployment hovering around 10% and real unemployment around 17%, the last thing we can do is have a tax increase at this time. I think that the death tax figures that they did are better than we would have gotten. They're not where they should be. But on measure, on whole, I probably agree with Paul Ryan that it's a good deal and one that we should take for now. But we have got to, as a party and as a nation and as a Congress, attack this soaring deficits and out-of-control spending. The people spoke last election, and if we don't understand the mandate that we have from the people, we'll be tossed out like the Democrats were.
Ann Wagner, best of luck to you. As you know, the door is always open here at the Allman in the Morning Show for you. AnnWagner.com. I hope you have a safe trip today to Ohio, and good luck. Ohio and where?
Ohio, Louisiana, West Virginia. We're heading to Oklahoma. You name it. I'm going to meet with all the RNC members. At the end of the day, the 168 votes on this committee are what matters, and I'm going to go after all of them with gusto and resolve.
Good for you. Ann Wagner off on the campaign trail for chairwoman of the RNC. It's great to talk to you. And again, we appreciate all you've done for conservatives in Missouri as well as across the nation. Ann Wagner, safe travels to you.
Thanks, Jamie. Take care.
All right, you take care too.